Hello? Hello? Is there anybody there? Well, hey, kindergartners, it's Mrs. Riffle. Today we're going to learn about caring for our chicks, why some of them didn't hatch, and the difference between pullets and cockerels. But first, Ben's going to show you how many chicks did hatch.
So this was our last chick that hatched yesterday morning. We had to help him out of the day because he was stuck, but unfortunately, 6 didn't hatch and 4 didn't develop. Let's count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is my favorite one. He's named after me. His name is Ben. And in case you're wondering, this is how you properly hold a chick. So you put one hand behind them and then kind of put like one on top of them to make sure they don't like jump out. Because this one is very, very jumpy.
Thanks, Ben. Now be sure to wash your hands after handling the chicks. Live animals can be a source of harmful germs, and we want you to stay healthy. Diseases that you can catch from animals are called zoonotic diseases and include things like Salmonella and E. coli, and they can make you very sick if you're not careful. Chicks can survive up to 2 or 3 days without eating or drinking right after hatching because they are able to use the nutrients remaining in their retained yolk sac. The egg yolk is full of important nutrients. That's why it's the perfect food for the chicks, and they're so healthy for us too. If a chick isn't eating well, you can feed it a hard-boiled egg to help it. Chicks also need a clean and warm environment to stay healthy, with plenty of fresh food and water. Ours are in a brooder with a heat lamp, a water bottle, and starter chick feed on the paper and in the feeder. They're on a wire floor with newspaper for a couple of days. We will take that out after they can reach the feeder. Then we will put pine shavings under the brooder to help keep it clean. The temperature needs to be 95 degrees for the first week of their lives. After that, we will decrease the temperature by 5 degrees each week until they are 4 weeks old. It's best to use a thermometer to measure the temperature, but you can watch their behavior to see if it's too warm or too cold. If the temperature is too cold, they will huddle up directly under the heat source, and they will move away from the heat source if it's too hot. When the brooder is at a comfortable temperature, the chicks will move about freely throughout the available space. It's kind of sad, but not uncommon, to have some chicks that don't hatch. Why do you think only 12 of our 22 eggs hatched? We checked the 10 eggs that didn't hatch, and 4 of them had not developed or stopped developing early on, and 6 of them had a chick inside. I did some research and learned that there are a lot of reasons why chicks do not hatch. The University of Illinois Extension has an excellent website that describes many of the problems that you can encounter when hatching eggs in an incubator. For example, the eggs that pipped partially but didn't survive could have been due to inadequate ventilation during hatching or from low humidity during the hatch. This could have been caused by opening the incubator too many times to check on their progress and take videos and pictures. A delayed hatch could have been caused by holding the eggs too long before setting them in the incubator. If you visit the website on the screen and search for incubation troubleshooting, you can read about the problems that occur while hatching chicks and what causes them and how to prevent them. This is another example of how amazing nature is. Hens have successful hatches all on their own all the time, without a thermometer or an egg turner to help them. How can we tell if they are roosters or hens? Actually, a boy chicken that's less than a year old is called a cockerel, and a girl chicken less than a year old is called a pullet. When they're born, it's very difficult to tell if they are boys or girls because all of their reproductive organs are inside their bodies. There are some breeds of chickens with sex-linked genetic traits. It's a bit complicated, but you can use that information to tell by their colors or the length of their wings when they hatch if they are male or female. For example, male Rhode Island Reds and New Hampshire breeds have a white spot on the wing when they're born. Barred Plymouth Rock males, which have black feathers, have a large white spot on the top of their head. The spot is much smaller in females. The parents of our chickens are not purebred. They're a mix of breeds, but they have characteristics similar to the Rhode Island Reds and the Barred Rock breeds. So it'll be interesting to see if our lighter colored red chickens and the black chicks with the spots on their heads are roosters. Some hatcheries breed chickens so that the female wings grow faster than the male wings. This way they can tell when the chicks are a day or two old which ones are boys and which ones are girls, just by looking at the pin feathers on the wings. This is important to know when you order chicks from a hatchery, depending on the purpose of the chicks. For example, if you are starting a laying flock to raise your own eggs, then you probably don't want a lot of roosters. This only works for certain breeds of chickens. Look at some of the wings on our chicks. See if you can guess if they are male or female. Another way to check their gender is by examining the vent when they hatch, but that's a very difficult skill to learn. Actually, the most accurate way to tell if a chicken is male or female is to observe them as they grow older. The males are larger with larger spurs and will start trying to crow. Their combs will grow faster, and if they have a single comb, the male comb tends to stand upright and the females will flop over. Finally, hackle feathers on the back of the neck and saddle feathers between the back and the tail are longer and more pointed in the males than the females. I hope that you've enjoyed learning about chick embryology in the virtual classroom. I will post updates from time to time in the future to let you know how the chicks are doing. So make sure you like us on Facebook at Purdue Extension Franklin County or Franklin County, Indiana 4-H Fair to stay in touch. If you have any questions, please send them to me at ariffle@purdue.edu, and I would love to answer them or at least try in a future video update. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Franklin County, Indiana 4-H, and you can find more information about Purdue Extension and the 4-H program on our website at extension.purdue.edu/Franklin. A special thanks to the Cooperative Extension Services in many other states who provided valuable research-based information for this program.